Hello everyone, and welcome to A Lovely Yarn podcast. My name is Amber. We are just a few days away from the official first day of summer. I love summer. It is my favorite season. Spring and summer, they have my heart. I wanted to get this video out to you guys because I feel like the days of June are just flying by, and I've been working on this for several weeks now. I have a list of 10 completely free, at least at the time of filming, summer garment knitting patterns for you all. I have been having so much fun with my summer knitting this year. I just want to knit so many summer garments. I have not gotten tired of knitting with summer fibers yet. And so I'm excited to share this list with you, and we're gonna get to that. But really quick, I just want to mention what I am wearing. This is called the Leela top, and this is a pattern by Kadri. It is not a free pattern. You have to pay for this pattern, but I knit this back in 2024. So I knit this in the Pascuali Nepal yarn in color number 10. It's this gorgeous green color, and this yarn is a blend of cotton, linen, and nettle. It is my first time using it, and I mean the experience was fine. It was okay. It's a wonderful summer yarn. I mean, it's so lightweight, so airy. It feels great to wear on it's 80 some degrees out today. Like, I have no problem wearing this. So I will link this pattern and the yarn information down below in case you're interested in looking into this further. And I should also mention that every pattern I talk about today will be linked down below in the video description. Okay, so let's get started. I have 5 tanks, 5 tees. There are a variety of different things as far as, like, we have some V-necks, some crew necks, we've got some texture, we've got some color work, we've got lace. So let's just dive in and get started on these 10 gorgeous projects. First up, we have the Sarah top. It is a pattern by Sari Nordlund. What immediately drew me to this top were the buttons and the texture. I love the buttons, I love the texture. Now, this is a symmetrical top, which means it has the same shaping in the front and the back, so you can wear it either way. You can wear your buttons in the front or your buttons in the back. The texture is actually achieved, when I looked at the pattern, I think it was like you knit around and then you purl one, knit one around, and you just keep repeating that throughout. So it's nothing hard to achieve that texture. It is knit bottom up and back and forth because you put the button band in as you go. I did see that many people mentioned that they either ended up sewing the button band down because it gaped too much, or they just knit it in the round and made like a faux button band, which I'm gonna say I would probably do if I knit this myself. Sari knit her sample in DK weight yarn, and it was a 100% cotton yarn, and it's knit on US 6 needles or 4mm. So I love DK weight on 4mm needles is like perfect. Okay, I've actually knit this next pattern. It's called the Tip Top Tank. It is a pattern by Emily Baldwin, and I knit this, it feels like a long time ago. I don't know where it is. I have lost this particular knit. I don't know. It's a mystery. However, when I knit mine, I did knit mine a bit too big, so I only ever wore it in the winter, and I would wear it over shirts. So this is a sport weight pattern. There are 8 different sizes included with this, which is great for a free pattern. And it includes instructions for knitting it flat or knitting it in the round, so you can pick whichever you want. It is knit bottom up, and she does state that it is a very suitable knitting pattern for a beginner garment knitter. It has a split hem, which I really appreciate. I do like split hems on my knits. And there is also, if you click on the download for this pattern, you also get a second individual file that you can download that gives you instructions on how to make the ties for the straps. So the version I made was when she first released the pattern. That wasn't even an option. So mine are just the regular straps. She has since added like an addendum file that you can she tells you how to make the little ties. And I probably wouldn't knit the ties. However, I will say there would be a benefit to having the ties, because one thing I notice with my like cotton garments is sometimes they do stretch out. And so when you have straps, that happened with mine. My straps got a little bit too big, and being able to tie them and tighten them up would definitely be a benefit. There is also a free light version of this pattern that is made using fingering weight. So I will also just tuck that into the bundle as well. I'm not going to talk about that version on here, but it will be included in the bundle if you click through to that. Okay, Alicia Plumer designed this Bliss tank. This is our next pattern, and this is a sport weight pattern that is knit on size US 9 needles, which was a little shocking. That's 5.5 millimeter needles. So the front and back are knit separately. So everything is knit separately and then you seam it together. But I think she also does give you instructions in the pattern if you want to knit them. Knit this in the round. She does kind of give you instructions on how to do that. But if you just follow it as originally written, you're going to knit the pieces separately and then you're going to seam them together. And I think it's like a 3 needle bind off for the shoulders. Yeah. There is optional neckline and armhole shaping or finishing, and she also has some A-line shaping in here in this pattern. If you desire to include that, you can always leave that out, of course. I think this is like a really basic piece that would be good for layering. I did notice quite a few people went down many needle sizes. Like a lot of people went down to a US 5 or 6 from rather than using the recommended US 9 because they said that their gauge was much too large. And I will admit a US 9 needle with sport weight yarn, I feel like that would give a really loose gauge. So if you would go down in your needle size, you would of course have to mess around with your gauge a bit and use your gauge to determine your size that you're going to knit. But I'm wondering if maybe she used a fiber that was more fluffy. Maybe I had some alpaca in it. Let me see. Okay, so her pattern, yeah, this kind of makes sense because it has a fluffy texture. It is Moondrake Fua Sport, and it's 70% cashmere goat, 30% wool, and its texture is classified as fluffy. So that would make sense. That would make total sense. So if I was going to use a summer yarn to make this, then I would definitely want to go down needle size and then pick my size based upon whatever gauge I get. Audrey Borrego I feel like she is known now for all of her free patterns. She has an extensive Ravelry library. She has a prolific amount of designs and she no longer charges for them. It's like she fell off the knitting scene, so I don't know any of the backstory on that. I used to watch her podcast and all of that. I don't know what happened to her, but now all of her patterns are free. So she is an exceptional source for well-written, beautifully designed patterns. You should just go check out her Ravelry store. But I've included 2 of her patterns on this list, and the first one is the Sofarine, and this is a kind of like a V-neck vest or top, and it is knit with fingering weight yarn. It's worked sleeveless, but you can also put in set-in sleeves, which she gives instructions on how to put short sleeves on, and they are set-in sleeves. So it's knit seamlessly in the round from the top down. And then she also includes some instructions if you want to add stripes or texture to your tank. I like it. I like the wide straps. I love the option of being able to put in sleeves. I love when patterns give you options like that. That's wonderful. So yeah, definitely go check her out. Lots of sizes too. Bust range is from 31.5 inches the whole way up to 67 inches. That's 80 to 170 centimeters. So great size range as well. All right, so we have covered all the tanks in this episode. Now let's move on to tees. The first one is the Anya tee by Comfort Zone Knits. This is a DK weight tee, and it is knit top down in the contiguous method. Now, some of you may be asking, what is the contiguous method? And I was right there with you until recently. I had to look it up and see what it was. It's basically just a way of constructing your garment. Just like we have raglan, we have circular yokes. So a contiguous method is a knitting technique where you're knitting top down, and you are using this technique allows you to shape a seamless sweater with a tailored set in looking sleeve. So your sleeve is going to look like it's set in, but it's not really. So you're basically, to do this, you cast on, you knit back and forth, and then you increase on both ends of that piece. And so it gives you like a sloping structure on the shoulder. And then you go back at the end and you put on your sleeve caps. So that's what a contiguous method is, as far as what I understand about it. So this is a very nice, airy looking tee. It is meant to be worn with 6 to 10 inches of positive ease, so it's meant to be quite oversized. It has the simple lace eyelets, which I love a lot. It just gives a little bit of interest, and I feel like it would also make this a really fun project to knit. It wouldn't be overwhelming, but it's like you would have your rows of stockinette, and then you would have your row of eyelets, and then you would do your rows of stockinettes, and then you'd have your rows of eyelet. I feel like I could see myself just racing ahead to the next eyelet row. But I also like the look of the shoulders on this one, because it's like this flat stockinette stripe for the shoulders, and then you have your eyelet panels. So it's definitely a larger, oversized, boxier looking style. Although the vast majority of you viewers are women, and I know that because I can check my demographics, I know there are also men who watch this podcast. And so I often leave you out. I'm so sorry about that, but this pattern is for you. Now, this is also a pattern that women could adapt a little bit and knit one for themselves as well. This is called the Slatter Tee. This pattern is designed by Stein Holgard Johansson. It is knit with sport weight yarn, and the sample is knit in 100% cotton. As I said, it is a men's shirt. It was designed to be so, but the shape of it and the look of it is just very simple and classic t-shirt style. So you could easily make this and wear this as a woman as well. In fact, there were many knitters who were women who knit this for themselves. The smallest size is a 36-inch bust. So you may, if you have a smaller bust than that, you may have to mess around a little bit with your gauge to get something that would fit you comfortably. But this is worked top down. It's worked back and forth on the back piece. It has saddle shoulders, and you work the neck, and then you work the body and the sleeves in the round. I love the neat. I will put a picture in here because I want you to see how neat the shoulders and the arms look. And I really appreciate how like finished and professional this t-shirt looks. Okay, the lace work on this next one is absolutely gorgeous. This is the Diane tee by Barocco Designs. It is a DK weight t-shirt or shirt. I shouldn't even call it. It's definitely not a t-shirt. It is worked in one piece from side to side. So it's worked from, is it the right arm? Yeah, the right sleeve cuff. You knit across the body, all of this, and then you end with the left sleeve cuff. I have never knit anything, any garments like that. Then at the very end, you go back and you pick up the hem on the bottom and you knit that. And let's see what else. I love the lace pattern. Of course, that is the star of the show, the lace pattern that's on the sleeves and then across the neck and the back. And the lace instructions are written. So keep that in mind. It's not charted. If you don't like written lace instructions, you may not like this pattern. But then I know there's also lots of people who don't like charted instructions. So this would be a great pattern for them. So yeah, really beautiful summer top that I love that lace. It's very gorgeous looking. Okay, now we have another lace top that is really pretty. This is the Floreal top, and this is by Amanita Agata Makowitz. And this is a sport weight top that is knit top down. It is seamless. And the star of this shirt is the back. That beautiful lace panel that runs down the back, and then the really cute feminine little I-cord tie at the top is just so pretty. Another finishing touch on this sweater on this top that I appreciate is the hem. So you actually do a stockinette hem and then you stitch it down. You flip it and stitch it down. And I'm going to put a picture in here because I think that looks so neat and professional looking. Okay, we've got 2 patterns left. This next one is an all over textured t-shirt. It is called Vinkas. This is another one by the Barocco Design team, and it is knit in DK weight yarn, and they call this a sampler t-shirt because there are 5 different panels of different texture or lace work that run across this shirt, and all the instructions are written. There are no charts for this, so some of you are going to love that, some of you probably aren't going to like that at all, but just be aware of that. I think this shirt would look really pretty over a strap or like a strappy dress. I probably would shorten some of these panels or maybe even leave the last one out. The sample is knit very long. If you look at the picture, it's very long, and I don't like my shirts that long, so I would definitely shorten this if I were to knit this. But it is really pretty, and I think it would be so much fun to knit because you're doing all those different things. Okay, the last shirt is another shirt by Audrey Borrego, and this is actually a color work shirt. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I really don't plan on wearing color work knitting during the summer because just the nature of color work, when you're working with multiple colors, you're going to have thicker fabric because you are carrying whatever yarn you're not working with, you're carrying. So it's going to be a thicker fabric. So I would say this shirt would be better for your transitional season, like spring into summer, summer into fall. Those days that are still chilly, definitely not a blazing hot 80-some degree day like we have today. Okay, so this is a DK weight shirt, and it is knit bottom up. It has a twisted rib hem on the bottom. It's a split hem. The bottom hem or the back hem is a little bit longer than the front hem, but you knit your 2 hems and then you join in the round and then you knit up, and you're doing color work, but it's not stranded. It is, she says it's a slip stitch, so I'm going to say that's probably mosaic. Her sample was knitted with 3 different yarns, and I think most of the samples or most of the projects that I looked at on Ravelry were done with 3 different colors. You could play around with that, of course. But yeah, you just work in the round up, and then you work the front flat and the back flat, and then you seam your shoulders together, and then you go back and probably do you do anything for the sleeves? I don't know, maybe you don't. That might be actually, no, it looks like the sleeves are just worked in there somehow. But yeah, I love color work. I'm a big fan of color work, and so this would be fun to make a top like this for the fall time, I think. Spring too. I mean, I love her colors. Those are not my colors. Those are not colors I would wear, but I love the colors that she chose for her sample pictures on Ravelry. This just looks like it would probably be a really fun one to do. Okay, so I would love to know which of these patterns could you see yourself casting on? Also, if you have any suggestions that you want to leave down in the comment section about other free summer knitting garment patterns that you have knitted and you really like, please leave those down below. I love when the comment section becomes a resource for me and all the viewers. I think that is so much fun. So thank you so much for joining me today. I love being able to come here and talk with you all. All of my information is down in the video description, where you can find me on Instagram, Ko-Fi, and my email if you want to contact me that way. Take care, everyone. Enjoy your knitting, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.